I'm running to be the next governor of California.
That is California Congressman Elex Swalwell making it official on.
I'm running to be the next governor of California.
That is California Congressman Elex Swalwell making it official on Jimmy Kimmel that he is running for California governor. And here on The Story Is, for his first sit-down TV news interview since that announcement, is Congressman Elex Swalwell.
Congrats on the new show. This is the only place I'd do it.
Thank you very much, and congrats to you on the new run. We want to get into all of that, but of course, as you sit here, we have breaking news. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of your colleagues, announcing that she's resigning in January. What's your first reaction to that? What do you think's going on there?
I don't know what to make of it. I do know that we need her vote to put the Obamacare subsidies back in place because everyone's premiums are going to be going up on January 1. I hope Republicans have received the message from national voters, constituents who are saying, don't let that go away on January 1. And she has been an advocate, actually, one of the only Republicans. So I hope that's something she gets done before she leaves, because Californians are going to pay a lot more if we can't put that back. At her, called her a traitor, and when you call someone a traitor, is someone who has, had Donald Trump go after me. It brings this army of death threats at you. It can be quite uncomfortable and change everything about your life. But I'm not going to speculate. I just hope, as I said, consequentially, we need as many votes as possible to lower health insurance. I hope she sticks around to get that done.
So this potentially changes the balance of power in the House.
Thinnest margin ever, essentially.
Right now, Republicans have a one-vote margin, including Thomas Massey, who doesn't vote with them all the time.
Thomas, if you want to switch parties, today would be a great day to do it. We could make Hakeem Jeffries a speaker.
Yeah, because, I mean, if anybody else leaves for any reason.
Speaker Jeffries.
There's Speaker Jeffries. That's a big deal.
That's exactly right. And that just shows, at least for us, how important it is to find allies across the aisle on issues that matter, as we did to get the Epstein files released, as we have to do on insurance subsidies, as we're going to have. I'm running to be the next governor of California.
That is California Congressman Elex Swalwell making it official on Jimmy Kimmel that he is running for California governor. And here on The Story Is, for his first sit-down TV news interview since that announcement, is Congressman Elex Swalwell.
Congrats on the new show. This is the only place I'd do it.
Thank you very much, and congrats to you on the new run. We want to get into all of that, but of course, as you sit here, we have breaking news. Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of your colleagues, announcing that she's resigning in January. What's your first reaction to that? What do you think's going on there?
I don't know what to make of it. I do know that we need her vote to put the Obamacare subsidies back in place because everyone's premiums are going to be going up on January 1. National voters, constituents, has been an advocate, actually, one of the only Republicans. So I hope that's something she gets done before she leaves, because Californians are going to pay a lot more if we can't put that back in place.
But why do you think she's leaving?
I don't know. Donald Trump has aimed death threats at her, essentially. He has called her a traitor, and when you call someone a traitor, is someone who has, had Donald Trump go after me. It brings this army of death threats at you. It can be quite uncomfortable and change everything about your life, but I'm not going to speculate. I just hope, as I said, consequentially, we need as many votes as possible to lower health insurance. I hope she sticks around to get that done.
So this potentially changes the balance of power in the House.
Thinnest margin ever, essentially.
Right now, Republicans have a one-vote margin, including Thomas Massey, who doesn't vote with them all the time.
Thomas, if you want to switch parties, today would be a great day to do it. We could make Hakeem Jeffries a speaker.
Yeah, because, I mean, if anybody else leaves for any reason.
Speaker Jeffries.
There's Speaker Jeffries. That's a big deal.
That's exactly right. And that just shows, at least for us, how important it is to find allies across the aisle on issues that matter, as we did to get the Epstein files released, as we have to do on insurance subsidies, as we're going to have to do to keep the government open because funding will again lapse in January. And so if I'm just being completely honest with you, we have had conversations, privately with Republicans who have said privately they don't like what the Trump administration is doing. They don't like the way Speaker Chair.
People are thinking about that?
They think about it. But the number one, I do that, my life changes, the death threats come at me, and that, like, your spouse and your kids are saying, don't do that. I mean, that's the environment we're in right now. For crying out loud, the president of the United States is essentially calling for people to be hanged. He did that on social media just this week. So, by the way, I would just say to anyone, get a different job. Like, if you can't be in the arena and understand, like, what the stakes are right now, maybe this isn't the job for you. And maybe that's the case with Marjorie Taylor Greene.
That's what she's doing.
But the stakes are too high right now to just, think about your own security when others are suffering because of this guy.
It is interesting that you guys are having those conversations. That actually happened in the Senate before, where one person was able to change the balance of power.
Willie Brown became speaker in California when Democrats were in the minority because he struck a bunch of deals.
Another big news of New York in the White House with President Trump looking very chummy. Is there a lesson for you there, potentially as California governor? Maybe it's better to get.
My default is to collaborate, and I'm the son of two Republicans. My parents to go on another network if they want to see me on television. However, I don't wake up every day to fight Donald Trump. I fight for California. He just gets in the way. But if he wants to collaborate, of course, I'm naive. I don't think the mayor-elect is naive. And you have to trust, but verify, certainly with this guy.
So let's talk about the run.
Distrust, then verify, and then trust.
Okay. The decision to run. Why are you running? Why do you want to be governor of California?
This great state. We say it's the fourth largest economy in the world. It is. I love to say that, but what does that mean if you can't afford to live here? And so, I want to be its fighter, protector against a president who has people running through the fields where they work, who's taking cancer research, who has in our streets, yet champion to bring prices down and lift wages up. And before I went to commissioner in a town called Dublin, our neighbor was Scrublin. I graduated in 1999. 25% of us went on to college. I hated being called Scrublin when I played on soccer teams like in other cities. I came college developers, building trades, labor, and we built the city. We put high expectations on them. Today, that high school that I graduated from, 96% of the kids go to college. We have Fortune 500 employers in the city. We even have a Whole Foods that no one can really afford to shop at. They don't call us Scrublin anymore. I want to do that for the whole state, particularly on housing.
Wait till you guys get an Erewhon.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So let's talk about the of living, though. The highest cost of housing, highest of gas, according to AAA, most homeless people. We know that. And
new small business starts. And I want us to be a startup nation again, as a nation state. I'm going to give a tax holiday to every small business for their first years. I want you to worry about business revenue on new businesses in California and set a tone that California is open to business, particularly small business and entrepreneurs.
But right now, the state's leadership is all Democrat. Democratic governor, 2 Democratic senators, Democratic supermajorities. Don't Democrats bear some of the responsibility or most of the responsibility for the fact that it's across the country? But we've been having this problem before all the inflation issues.
Sure. And I'm not going to look to the past. I'm running to be the governor next year. And so what I'm telling you, what I'm going to do, day one, declare a housing emergency in every part of the state and require every agency in the state to make a decision 90 days on. And I want to be a get shit done governor. That is my priority. On small business, as I said, we're going to be small business growth by tax holiday for the first 3 years. As it relates to TV and film, that's the bread and butter of our state. We also film TV and film. We do TV and film up in the Bay Area, believe it or not, Alex.
Yeah.
But I want an above the line credit. I want us to be the easiest place to film not the hardest place to film. And so, yes, I understand the issues that face this state, potentially an $18 billion deficit. But I have a plan for growth, and I look forward to putting it into place immediately.
Okay, so let's go through them. On housing, a little bit more on that. You said you declared that emergency. Your colleague and friend, Stephen Klubeck, said that CEQA, which is the California Environmental Quality Act, which is the environmental regulation, should be paused. Do you agree with that?
For the housing emergency, to make those decisions in the first 90 days, yes. But I'm going to work with the legislature, and there's going to be a proposition likely on the ballot to put CEQA reforms in place. We are always going, to honor our obligation to the environment, as a state, a leader in the country. And we did that, by the way, in Dublin. We won national awards for the environmental projects that we did using green materials, but also doing blended, affordable, and market rate housing. I did it in Dublin. I'm going to do it across the state.
And in terms of gas prices, we have seen oil refineries leave the state. Some Democrats think that's a good thing. Antonio Villaraigosa, who's running for governor, says it's a bad thing. What say you?
I don't want anyone leaving the state. Period. I want to.
So what do you do to keep oil
for the state? Because the administration has declared war on California. We've lost the Inflation Reduction Act funding. We've lost the Infrastructure and Jobs Act funding that goes to clean energy projects. So of course we want to expand solar that we have in the state. I will take in all of the above. If it's safe, we should make it happen. All of the above. If it's safe, make it happen.
On homelessness, we see more homeless people here than anywhere else in the country. We have seen some marginal improvement in some places, but not big improvement. Is there a radical change that needs to happen? And if so, what is that?
Well, first, private-public partnerships need to be expanded upon. I'm familiar of the work of the LA Dream Center and centers like that and the work they're doing. But legally, I can also tell you, as somebody who has gone through the streets of San Francisco to find a loved one who was homeless, that too many of the rights are given to the person who has no ability to take care of themselves, and loved ones and family members have no rights. And so I would take this loved one, I would put them in a rehab facility, and I would call the rehab facility the next day, and I'd be told they can't give me any information whether they're there or not. I think there are compassionate are homeless can be
forced treatment where people are compelled to go there, because right now there's a lot of people who want to do that and they don't have much of a mechanism. There's the care court system, but a lot of people have struggled to even with that.
I think if you can prove that somebody is not capable of making decisions for themselves, you should have the resources of the state better able to help them. Again, I've lived that, that tragic, heartbreaking experience. So many Californians have to, and the frustration I hear across the state is, I wish I could do more to fight for my loved one.
Let's talk about your place in this race. Katie Porter so far has been the leader in many polls. You served with her in Congress. What do you think of her? What do your colleagues think of her? What do you make of her?
I respect why she's running. I'm friends with everyone who's running. I bring a different candidacy. I'm in the arena right now taking on Trump. I helped lead the Russia investigation with Adam Schiff. Speaker Pelosi asked me to help lead the impeachment team against Donald Trump. Hakeem Jeffries just asked me to lead the effort to not rewrite January 6th, and so I'm doing that right now. I have the only surviving lawsuit against Donald Trump for his role on January 6th. I take this guy on every single day. I never flinch when he acts corruptly. I'm in the arena right now, but I'm a dad of 3 little kids. So I understand what Californians are facing as far as like what the housing crisis means to young families. Also, Elex, we are a state that leads the way in AI. However, as a parent, AI is terrifying. It's terrifying because you worry about like what it means for privacy for your kids and what gets put in front of them. I also worry about, will my kids have the resources in their classroom to learn it so they can use it and go, and reap the benefits of like the positive side of it, which is hopefully creating more jobs. And so I will be like a champion and a bridge to the future tech economy in California to make sure that we don't have 2 classes of kids, those who learn it and those who don't.
I know you, from a style perspective, respect what Governor Newsom has been doing in terms of taking effective. Is there any major change?
I want to modernize the state. And he wrote a book called Citizenville, which I read when I was like, up and coming. And he laid out a lot of great ideas then, and he implemented some of them. And he, was a modernizing force. He's leaving. And so there is going to be a void. I want us to be able to vote by phone. I think every Californian
Vote by phone.
Yeah, if we can do our taxes, do our, make our healthcare appointments, make essentially do your banking online, you should be able to vote by phone. Make it safe, make it secure, but it's actually already happening all over the United States. I want us to be a blue state that doesn't do just a little bit better than like Georgia or Alabama when it comes to like voting access. I want us to max out democracy. Also, as it relates to democracy, if you wait in line for 30 minutes or more, if you do want to vote in person, I think you should fine every county for every minute that a person has to wait longer. We have to be better, not just a little bit better than the other states. The DMV. I don't think Californians should have to go in person to the DMV anymore. I think we can do that virtually. I think you can have the DMV employees do it virtually, but that's a lot of real estate.
Is that the most popular position?
Digitize the DMV. Digitize the DMV.
Today? Yeah.
We can modernize the state, and I look forward to bringing these ideas to Californians.
Let's talk a little bit more about you.
Yeah.
As you've mentioned, you have two Republican parents.
Yeah.
How has that informed your worldview?
And I keep saying my mom just passed, so I think I'm still, I say parents. My parents are Republican. My dad, still with us, Republican. My brothers, many of them are cops, a little more conservative. It helps me understand like where they're coming from, how to talk to them, like what the triggers are that make them walk away, as soon as you go to a certain issue. And believe it or not, like before Donald Trump came along, the biggest knock on me was that I was too bipartisan. And so the day after
That's
Trump,
not the knock right now.
The day after Trump, when he leaves, like we are going to have to, write a new chapter as far as for our country and for our state. And I know how to collaborate and work with everyone. I look forward to doing that as governor.
What's the most important lesson your mom taught you?
My mom would always say, if you want something done, ask a busy person. But she also was just dogged and resilient in her fight against cancer. And by the way, the last text message that she sent to me was she asked like if I had been eating because she saw me on TV and thought I looked too thin. And she had been watching NCIS, and I guess in the show, a member of Congress had been given an anthrax shot, and she asked me if I get anthrax shots. And I was like, no, Mom, don't believe everything you see on TV. But she was dogged in her fight against cancer. And for me, that's why it's so personal. And the president attacks, the universities that are doing cancer research in California, like UCSF. To me, cutting cancer research is the dumbest thing in the world. Like a budget is not just a moral statement, it's an IQ test. We should do everything not to kill cancer research, but to kill cancer.
And lastly, we like to have some fun on this show.
Yeah.
We do something called rapid fire to get to know your favorites culturally. First thing that comes to mind, what is your favorite TV show right now?
White Lotus. My wife works in hospitality.
That's great. Of course, part of our company owns it, so we love it. Favorite kids show, because I know you've got kids.
Oh my God, Bluey. Like I can just
can't go wrong with
song.
that.
Yeah.
Best book you've read lately?
The last book I read was Llama Llama Red Pajama, and then Goodnight Moon. But I just read Strong Floor, No Ceiling by Oliver Libby. It really describes how I approach governing, which is to not hate on success, but just expect that we're a place where more people can be successful. Strong Floor, No Ceiling.
Favorite band or musical artist?
I mean, Taylor Swift, come on. Is there
Californian.
The burritos and the taquerias. Los Pericos in Dublin they've got a super burrito there that I should eat fewer of.
And lastly, what is your favorite quote or motto?
Wow. So I would say JFK once said that the American people are like builders, entrepreneurs, and risk takers, and like there's nothing they can't do, like if called upon to do it. Where we recognize we're the fourth largest economy in the world. That's great, but everyone should have a stake in it. Everyone should share in it, and that's what made me want to do this. And I didn't think I'd do it, Alex. This is not something I planned, but I just saw like the existential stakes that we're facing right now and I'm ready to do it.
Thank you very much. A lot of news in that interview. A lot just came out of that. We really appreciate you coming here first.
Thank you.
Congressman. Best of luck out on the campaign trail. Eric Swalwell, Democratic candidate for governor of California.